Packing up most of my clothes now. So just started, so I've got a lot to go through. And listening to a conversation of Mark Dever and Jared Packer, I think. Yeah. Starting off good. It's about gospel. Okay, so I've packed up quite a bit now. That took like 30 minutes maybe. These are the stuff I'm going to keep. And washing I have to do, and shoes I have to pack away. And a lot more things there. And stuff there. And the stuff in there. And otherwise, I'm done. But yeah, I can't believe that it's time to go to leave Bristol. Genuinely, like, so many feelings and thoughts right now. There's none overpowering. Just realised I have to give that to CU. But I know I'm excited and I can't wait to see what comes next. But yeah, it's still really sad though. Lol. Currently editing the videos of the week away. Some are pretty long actually. And yesterday, I filmed barely anything of the day, and I just wanted to take it in, and that's the reason why. This is the last day, and also I was sleepy and I couldn't be asked to get my phone out. But I really enjoyed yesterday a lot. It was bittersweet in many ways. Bittersweet during like the final discussions, but also bittersweet when you had to leave, and then bittersweet when I got home for like 10 seconds before I went to AD's house. But yeah, that is what happened yesterday. And I've actually been thinking about like whether to carry this on, just not necessarily for anyone, though it's fun knowing people watch it. It's fun like hearing what people think. Like I remember Oppie messaged me a few days ago because I had that sausage, the hot dogs and a chicken nugget wrap as my lunch, and she messaged about it, and you know, it made me happy, and that she watched it and that she knows that's what I'm doing. Though I do want to know what you're doing, Oppie, so please let me know. But yeah, thinking about whether I should carry this on next year, in my 2 years of working in London, which would be cool, but also maybe making it less like a daily thing, more like a monthly or a weekly thing, or just like key moments of the week / what I've learned. What I want to document most though is, for next year, would be growth in my Christian faith and walk, but in a more modern way through videos, because there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. So it could be less about what's going on in my week and my month in terms of big events, and more about things I've learned every week through training, Bible training, but also through life, conversations maybe, and experiences. Especially if I find this 2 years hard, that'd be really helpful. But yeah, don't really know what to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna edit these, post them, and carry on with packing. This is not going well. Well, I've actually packed quite a lot of my things already, but still things I Me too. It's hard to figure out how to clean my room and pack at the same time because it's not going to be clean realistically. Oh! I've got to get my dryer stuff. That's what I'm going to do. Bye. It's the time! Oh? Already knows. Today's the 20th. Oh no, I want to leave then. Yes, yes. So it's either 5, I arrive home at 8:30, or if there's any earlier, that's the same cheapness. 4:30, arrive at 8. That might be better actually. But I'm gonna leave later. I really want to leave later though. Don't know what to do, I'm gonna leave later. Oh, I didn't check if that was like 2 changes. Okay, at Paddington. Oh, I'm scared. I don't want to go. Okay, I'll let you know if I actually buy the ticket at the end. Looks like I'm going back to Cambridge. Counting down the days now. Yesterday I said it was 10 days, now 10 days actually starts now. I'm so sad. I don't want to leave. The Hiding Place. Very good book. Just finished it today actually. 5 minutes ago. Now I'm gonna do a fun little review of it. Because that's fun. So I've only highlighted 3, but there were 3 things that I've highlighted and wanted to remember. So, one of them was, God loves Corel even more than you do, and if you ask him, he will give you his love for this man. A love nothing can prevent, nothing destroy. Whether we cannot love in the old human way, Corey, God can give us the perfect way. I think she was in love with this man. He married someone else instead of her. This she said after his wedding, I think, or during the wedding. And she's asking for that love, for her to love him again. And she found it hard. She's asking that she can't love in this old human way. God can give that perfect way of loving. And so, even in this love for a person she loves, she's asking God for his love in order for her to love him. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know, I think that's really, really encouraging. And I want to remember it. Okay, I'm looking for any more. I love this quote. So they got moved to a new room, new quadrant, a new dormitory, from a smaller one to a larger one, and by them, Corey and Betsy, and they got moved to this large dormitory. This dormitory was worse, even worse than the first one, and what made it worse to Corey was that there were fleas that bite. And Corey didn't like that, and then Corey ten Boom really hated the fact that there were fleas, and was like, "What's like? How could God do this? Like, it's already worse." And to top it all off, there are fleas. And so Corey ten Boom's like, where he was, how can they live in such a place? Like, there are fleas and like living conditions already suck. And then as she was saying that, Betsy was saying, show us how. And the quote is, show us how. It was said, Betsy said that. It was said so matter-of-factly, it took me a second to realize she was praying, Betsy was praying. More and more, the distinction between prayer and the rest of life seemed to be vanishing from Betsy. And I think, I don't know, I kind of found that like so encouraging that, and I kind of want to emulate like what Betsy was doing and emulate that in my life. The idea that there shouldn't be a distinguishment between prayer in my life. Like the book in the Big God, cows moo, cats meow, God's people pray. It's a thing they do. It's a way of life, and I'm encouraged by that. Because even though she didn't know the answer to why fleas, instantly her thought wasn't, oh, fleas, what? It was more of, show us how, Father, show us how you are so in control in this. And I also highlighted this quote. So Corey saying, the fleas, this was too much. Betsy, there's no way even God can make me grateful for a flea. And Betsy says, give thanks in all circumstances, she quoted. It doesn't say in pleasant circumstances. Fleas are part of this space where God has put us. So God has put those fleas there, and God has put them there. It really relates to Big God. The idea that God is in control, the idea that everything has been put into place by God, and God's plan will is certainly can't be changed, and what you did yesterday, what I did yesterday, what I said and thought yesterday was part of God's plan will. I don't know, I really like that. I also like this quote when so Betsy was getting weaker. She got abused by the guard, hit by guard for not working hard enough, or because she was ill, obviously. Or was she? Okay, yeah. So a guard slashed her across the face, across the chest and neck, I mean. And Corey, who was digging, had a shovel. And was about to probably harm the guard. And when Betsy stopped her, Corey saw the mark on her neck, and it was bleeding. And Betsy saw that. And when Betsy saw that Corey saw, she said, "Don't look at him, Corey. Look at Jesus only." And that's you could tell Betsy's heart is so much centered on God, you know. So much wisdom comes out of her mouth, which is probably why this story written by Corey ten Boom and John Elizabeth Sherrill was really about how Betsy grew so much, and Corey, in a concentration camp, in suffering and war, which has been so good. Okay, let's see. And this is a quote of Corey meeting one of the guards after the war in church, and he got out his hand to shake her hand, because he wanted to thank her for speaking at the church, and she said this. She found it really hard to forgive him and was wanting to forgive him but couldn't. And so she prayed again, saying, And so I discovered that it is not on our forgiveness any more than on our goodness that the world's healing hinges, but on his. When he tells us to love our enemies, he gives, along with the command, the love itself. So yeah, I mean, I haven't had that experience yet of someone I really dislike come up to me and say, forgive me. So I don't understand it. Maybe I do, I'm just not thinking well right now. But I know, I find that quite helpful. Well, this book in general has been really helpful. Top favourites. I've not read a lot of books, but this has to be up there. Easy to read, in terms of you can read it all in one go, because it's so good, and it keeps you, it's gripping, that's what it is. But also hard to read, because obviously it's about war and about suffering, about death, about the harm, about humanity's innate evil. Also hard to read because it exposes sin, it exposes hatred that we may have, selfishness that we may have, pride, and hard to read because it leads you to God, how to be humble, how to be forgiving, and what forgiveness looks like, extreme forgiveness too. It faces you with the reality of life, the brevity of life, and how quickly anything can be taken away and be given back. But yeah, such a good book, and it's worth the read. The Hiding Place. And I guess it may not answer why God allows suffering in this world and why there is suffering, but it shows you that God doesn't shy away from suffering. He's active in the midst of suffering, and he's there always, and he's in control. I think that's the most important thing, that Corey and Betsy were not in control of anything, even when it seemed like it. And they knew that, understood that, and was always pointing to God and the work of Jesus and the gospel and the furtherance of his kingdom. So just like what we learned a few weeks ago from ECC, God uses ordinary people, 2 ordinary women, children of God, and we see a divine power used in them and how that helped the church grow, specifically in concentration camps and in the underground. And it's a beautiful story of Christianity, or people's relationship with God in the midst of suffering. We really see the biggest growth when there's suffering involved, not when people are living happy and comfortable lives, which is quite weird because you don't see that in any other worldviews. Well, you do, but not in this way. I don't know, maybe you don't. Big claims out here. Okay, I'm gonna end this now because it's been 12 minutes, 10 seconds. I am going to Co-op to buy some food, to buy some dinner, and some dessert, and some snacks, and some fun stuff. That is the plan. Ta-da! I'm gonna make some Gyros? It's spelled like that, but I don't know if it's spelled like that. I've got wrap, chips, got chicken, and chicken nuggets, and lettuce and stuff like that. Yummy.
Friday, June 16th. Tyler, what can people expect? You designed all this stuff.
Honestly, a lot of this stuff was done.
Chicken nuggets, lettuce,
before you
mayo,
left by you,
garlic
so
powder,
I can't take
Cajun,
all the
onion
credit.
powder, and lemon and coriander hummus. How's that for
A
you,
lot of
Oppie?
stuff that I've
I hope
done.
it's good.
What can people expect?
Wow. How pretty. It actually looks way closer in real life. It's blue and yellow. It's stripy. Amazing.